Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. So, we're looking at a very pivotal moment in global politics because the European Union has made what seems to be a very historic decision to significantly boost its defense spending. They're going to increase their defense spending. They will never reach the heights of America. I mean, we spend trillions of dollars in national defense as we should. But the European Union has made, you know, moves in response to President Trump's recent remarks suggesting that Europe should take greater responsibility for its own defense. They took it to heart as they should. They never really taken their defense because they had powerful allies, they had powerful neighbors, they had powerful treaties with people. So they think that, we don't really need to increase our defense budget to invest in advanced technologies and defense mechanisms. But at an emergency summit in Brussels, as you see here, 27 EU leaders agreed to loosen budget restrictions, potentially freeing up around 650 billion pounds for defense. And the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, emphasized the urgency, stating European as well as Europe faces a clear and present danger. And therefore, Europe has to be able to protect itself to defend itself. So again, even Donald Trump has motivated the EU to do better in their defense. I wonder why. And this is all geared around protecting Ukraine because basically the United States of America is tired. The citizens are tired, and thank God for an administration that is tired as well. He came in the door tired. We can get past all the rhetoric of January 6th and they stole the election. He's president, so we don't even have to bring those things up again. But there have been a lot of changes going on. There's something that I want you guys to look at very quickly here. Are you guys familiar with this story? This is the face of drug dealers in Canada. Canadian snowboarding star and ex-Olympian added to FBI's 10 most wanted. Ryan Wedding went from shredding powder on the slopes at the Olympics to distributing powder cocaine on the streets. I always wonder who was behind bringing all that cocaine and crack to America. Now, of course, it wasn't him. This was before his time. But nonetheless, he's on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. So currently, this is the face of cocaine in North America. Because he's not driving, flying, or shipping around the United States. You know that cocaine is coming right through the United States of America. He just happened to be Canadian. So this is how the drugs are getting into North America. Or one of the other avenues, rather. Of course, I won't put it all on him. Large drug dealer here. Now, China has been reporting anxiousness about the potential resurgence of a trade war with the United States and as well with our president. And their foreign minister, Wang Yi, has criticized the U.S. for its contradictory actions regarding trade, accusing President Trump of being two-faced. He stated that our president was two-faced, as if China has not been two-faced to America ever since most of us was born. And so him being tough on China, they're stating that he's a fraud, he's two-faced, he's not doing good business. That's debatable. That's very debatable. Let me guys show you this very quickly. I don't know if you guys are aware of this story here. It's been kind of reaching the headlines because the Pentagon recent diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative has led to the removal of approximately 26,000 images, including those of distinguished war heroes. And while doing this, they have sparked very significant controversy, with critics arguing that it undermines the legacy of military personnel who have served in the nation with honor. Supporters of the initiative claim it's a necessary step towards creating a more inclusive environment within the Department of Defense. And the reports also state that they have removed, out of those 26,000 images, majority of them have been women and minorities. And this is from websites, the Pentagon. Now, if you're not removing all, then that raises the question for me. If you're not removing all, because when we start talking about DEI, the waters get really muddy. They get very discriminatory. They get kind of racist because, again, there's this picture that DEI was meant for Black folk to get ahead. And we already debunked that myth by posting and showing the Department of Education list of who receive these DEI benefits and initiatives. And Black people, out of all the groups you can name, white, Hispanic, Asian, LGBTQ, Native American, Black folk was at the bottom of receiving those initiatives, according to the Department of Labor. But they keep trying to paint this picture by saying minorities, women. So if you're going to exclude that many people, are the only people who are going to be left are white men? Because, again, for some strange reason, even some Black Americans believe that the symbol of America is a white man. I keep telling you, in my opinion, there were three major groups that established America: Black Americans, Native Americans, and Europeans who came over here for domination and conquering of land. Or as we say now, white Americans. The descendants of those white Americans, rather. So again, if we're going to have a transparent depiction of what and who an American is, then we have to represent at least those three major groups. And then secondly, I just want to raise this idea once again. If everything is going to be merit-based, then take race off of the applications. Take race off of the application. And matter of fact, because I know some people can exercise racism by your name. Now, I have a very common name that doesn't tell anyone if I'm Black or white. If I'm Asian, well, they'll know that I'm not Hispanic or Asian if I don't have one of those traditional Asian or Hispanic names. But nonetheless, take your name as well as your race off of the applications. Just use your social security number or some sort of employee generated number that they can give you, right? Certain systems are decentralized so they don't talk to each other, so they can have that level of transparency. Rather, this system takes your information of your race and your age and who you are, and then it translates, no. Then on your interview, if it's in person, you do the interview behind a curtain. If it's online, then you don't show your face. I know that kills a lot of engagement, but if we really want to do merit-based, is that a bad idea? It was a very quick idea I had this morning. I'm asking you guys, is that a bad idea? We really want to go merit-based? Because people know how to discriminate because they've been good at it for a very long time. And I'm not talking to, and here's the thing, when a person like me says something like that, I have to put the disclaimer out. I'm not talking about all races or all white people or all Asian people or all Hispanic people who are adjacent themselves with whiteness. I'm not talking about all, because I don't believe that nobody is all discriminatory or biased or a bigot. I just have to put that disclaimer down. Now, The State Department has rejected the Arab League proposal. Give me 1 second. Let me fix this up for you guys. Give me 1 second. I have all these ads that be popping up, so I'll block them. But the Arab League proposal for the future government of Gaza stating unequivocally that Hamas cannot continue to exist there. So even if they come to a ceasefire / peace treaty, they're stating that all Hamas have to evacuate Gaza. They cannot live there. They cannot exist there. So this decision leaves the region future in question. Because don't forget, this is Hamas' homeland. So they are grappling with finding a very viable solution that ensures both security and autonomy for the Palestinian people. I just wonder how Hamas is going to take this information. So again, if you're new to Blacklogic, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. So every time I go live or post a video, you are made aware. And we're going to keep you updated on this because I'm just wondering the response of Hamas. And hopefully it's diplomatic so war doesn't continue and Gaza as well as Palestine don't continue to get destroyed. Now, the Department of Homeland Security has made a surprising move by announcing it will not honor the existing labor contract with TSA, as we all know, Transportation Security Administration. And because it has raised concerns about potential unrest among airport security personnel, which could have far-reaching implications for national security and traveler safety. And this is affecting more than 40,000 TSA workers after a 7-year agreement was reached in 2024. The Department of Homeland Security is stating that it's going to ignore the contract. So I wonder if there's going to be 40,000 TSA agents that's going to need to find a new job. There's a lot going on in our government. Why do I believe that this is World War III? For a long time, we all thought that World War III was going to be a nuclear war. Robotics and automation and AI are fast forwarded and more advanced, and is becoming more advanced each and every day. So instead of a nuclear war, we say, no, it's not going to be a nuclear war. It's going to be a war against robots versus humans. AI is going to take over, become symbiont, and then the only way to protect humanity is by destroying humanity. That's what a lot of people are thinking. But I believe we are already in World War III economically, because President Trump and his administration is rocking the world with a lot of these tariffs and the threats of tariffs. And I'm not necessarily stating it's a bad thing, but I think World War III, when we look at it, has been caused by America. Let me tell you why. When we look at a bully, we always look at as America as bullies. But have you ever thought that we were being bullied by other countries economically? Like they know they can't beat us in a war or a battle or a conflict. They know that. But maybe there are some products that we want from China. There are some manufacturing that we want from China that is going to 10 times our business. It's going to 10 times our business. Meaning if we say we came up with a smart pen, and to get that pen manufactured in America for every unit, it was going to cost you $5. You was going to sell it for $10. China said we'll make it for $1. Who are you going to go with? You're getting 5 times the supply versus 1. And let's say, and don't get me wrong, people are like, it's going to be different quality, this, that, and the other. No, I've seen a lot of Chinese products that were high quality, as if it was made in America. It's because, again, Americans are the ones that's giving China the blueprints and the schematics of how to make it American made. Like that tough quality that we used to always have. People are like, oh, that's American made. The reason why it's hit or miss is because now it's China made. but it's World War III when it comes to economics. And again, the strategy that Donald Trump is taking, I'm not well equipped with information of the economy of how eventually that is going to be resolved. I just don't know. But it's very intriguing nonetheless. Now, as soon as America stopped its aid to Ukraine, Russia launched an attack. And Russia launched a major aerial assault on Ukraine, coinciding with the United States' decision to halt military aid to Kiev. And this is one of the reasons why the EU nations are now ramping up their budgets for defense, because this aggressive action has intensified the conflict, prompting urgent decisions among European leaders about the need for a robust and unified response to support Ukraine's sovereignty. Or the EU is getting scared of Russia. Have you guys thought about that? Oh, all of a sudden they're ramping up their defense systems. And at the same time, America has backed away from supporting Ukraine from an endless war that seems as though President Zelensky does not want to end, as if we're going to help them destroy Russia. Then we are going to be in war with Russia, China, and North Korea. Trump seems as though he wants peace. So why all of a sudden the EU is now stepping up, now that we have a new president stating that we're not going to support Ukraine with a blank check? The majority of the money that we've given you to Ukraine has been grants versus the majority of the money that the EU nations have given to Ukraine has been a loan. So they're going to get majority of their money back, and we've lost majority of our money. Now, all of a sudden, they come into the table, want to increase their defense budgets and help Ukraine. Now, this is something that I've been speaking for like the last 2 weeks. The EU is just trying to protect themselves. They do not want Russia to come more inland to other European countries. Do we need to do this again? I just want to pop up, if you guys don't mind, how strategic Ukraine is to prevent Russian forces to have an easy pathway to Western Europe. Just bear with me here. I just want you guys to get a depiction of it, a good picture of it. If you guys don't mind, I just want to show this very quick. Let me see if I can just get this up here. Give me 1 second. Here we go. So here we are over here in Eastern Europe, right? Ukraine borders Russia. Russia is a very, very large country. Russia is a very large country. This is all Russia until you see these dark lines. Look where Russia starts and look where Russia ends. Look how large Russia is. Yeah, you don't see any other names in these borders. What countries do Russia border? Mongolia, Kazakhstan. If you come around here, they're near Japan, South Korea. Now they don't border them rather. Now, South Korea is on a peninsula, but North Korea, don't forget North Korea is over here as well. They also border Ukraine, certain parts of the Middle East, Belarus, Finland. No, they don't border Romania, but they border a lot of Western European countries. So just take, for instance, if Russia takes over Ukraine, look how far west Russia has extended their empire. Now, other countries like Poland, Austria, even Germany, Denmark, Italy to some degree, all of them are going to be on red alert if they take over Ukraine, because the next stop will be Poland. I think Romania would just join forces. Excuse me. I just think that Romania will join forces with Russia. I don't think they would try to fight Russia. I don't even think that Belarus would try to fight Russia, because again, this is the remaking of the Soviet Union. This is the making of the Soviet Union. And quite frankly, it seems as though that the only person that can stop the remaking of the Soviet Union is President Trump. Because I'm telling you, that is why the EU is like, if we don't stop them in Ukraine, they're going to come to the United Kingdom. They're going to come to Ireland, Spain, Portugal. They know exactly what they're doing. Let me show you guys something else. So this unfortunate black young woman here, one of our black beautiful sisters she's out in public with that, whatever you guys call it, I forgot it. But she was berating this white woman about her braids. About her braids. Now, I never looked into the history of Africans, Black Americans, Vikings, because they said that Vikings came up with braids first and not Africans. And I would never really get into that argument because braids are so old. I'm pretty sure that somebody has some historical records or references, but it's a hairstyle. And I'm not going to play the audio because there's a lot of profanity. I'm not going to play the audio. Okay? Because she's using a lot of profanity, but she's telling the white girl, take the braids out of her hair, like really aggressively. And what I'm confused about this is black women wear white women hairstyles all the time. They flatten their hair, they straighten their hair. And then some people are like, oh, that's a black hairstyle or that. Well, Ethiopians and people have straight hair, but there's people, dark melanated hue, that our hair is not naturally straight, it's naturally curly. And then we started using these negative stereotypes, calling our hair nappy. It's super curly. I won't call it nappy. I'm not going to use no derogatory. I don't have hair now, but when I did, I would never, call it that. But she's berating this white woman about her braids. But that's not what I brought you guys here to talk about. What I'm talking about is the response that people have. So Matt Walsh stated, black people do not invent braids. White people have been braiding their hair for thousands of years. I mean, Africans can make the same, argument. And this girl here seems to be Black American. Not African, not for a second generation, but this truly Black American. But Matt Walsh states that white people can much more credibly claim that jeans, sneakers, electricity, cars, planes, refrigerators, air conditioning belong to us because we actually did it. Like we actually invented those things. What is he talking about? What in the world is Matt Walsh is talking about? So again, I just kind of listed some things here. Black American inventions, to name a few. And I went down a lot of the things that we have invented. I didn't go off on a tangent on this one, but I listed everything that not everything, but a couple of things that we have invented. Okay. Let me go back. So Bruce states, tell me the last thing that black people have invented. And I replied, he said the last thing, well, why do people act like they don't know that Black Americans have invented hundreds of thousands of things in the last 200 years? Stop with the ignorance underlying race bull s. Damn. And our brother Moses West made the AWG, which is known as the atmospheric atmosphere water generation. It literally captured the moisture in the air. It actually captures the moisture in the air, transform it somehow, filters it into drinking water. So that's the last thing, that I could find. But I can keep, and again, there's been people, any type of racism is unacceptable to white people too. I listed something. I want to show you something else here. Give me 1 second. I think I responded like this, like Beyonce. And the liberal tier creator says, if cultural appropriation was a picture, and he has a point. That's why I don't condone this whole hairstyle thing. Women do whatever they want with their hair. Straight, black, curl, extension pieces, wigs, matting down your edges. I don't know. But they made it a whole big deal. I'm trying to get to a point here. Like this black girl was telling this white boy that he can't have dreads. What are we doing? This is so senile. We're berating people because they're rocking hairstyles that we believe that belongs to us. then that means that we shouldn't wear any clothes that designed and made by white people. We just walk around naked. Because as Matt Walsh said, there we didn't invent jeans and electricity and shirts and stuff. They did. I wanted to show you guys my response. I made a more comprehensive list. I want to show you this response here. Okay. Just showing that I'm live. This is the last thing that I posted. And this is a more extensive list of a lot of the inventions that we have created. I'll pop it up very quickly. I'm going to go down a couple of them. I'm not going to really announce any, but I'm just going to let you guys quickly glance at what I put in my Twitter feed of all the inventions and innovations that Black Americans have come up with. And I'm just scrolling through for you guys to look at very quickly. And you should verify for yourself if you don't believe it. But I'm just tired of people who are bigots, who seem to be trying to be more informational, but have this undertone of racism and bias in their speech, like Matt Walsh did here in his tweet talking about, where is it at? Let me go back. Let me go back. He's talking about all the things that white people supposedly have created. And I haven't looked into none of those things to debunk it because it really doesn't matter. But he was stating that, oh, we created refrigerators, air conditioning. And again, if I look at my list, let me go back. I will go back. Air conditioning and refrigeration, cars and planes. Well, if we really want to get jiggy with it, the first aircraft was created by a black man. He created it before the Wright brothers created the airplane. He created an airship. And he had a patent, U.S. patent. I should pop it up. Nobody doesn't believe me. I'm going to pop it up. Give me 1 second. I want to pop it up because when people, and his name was Charles Frederick Page. That was his name, Charles Frederick Page. And I want to show you guys something very quickly here. I'm going to pop this over here. Give me 1 second. And this is from The Advocate. It states, let me get this out of here. Black inventor Charles Frederick Page created airship in Louisiana before the Wright brothers. And here is the patent. April 10th, 1906. He says that he applied for his patent in 1903 and received it in 1906. The patent was granted months before the Wright brothers received their patent for the Kitty Hawk. Again, here's the patent. Here's Charles Page. Again, anything that I'm showing you guys, or I tell you guys, I just ask that you go verify it. See, we can go tit for tat of who created this and who created that. Black Americans are very great people. We create a lot of things. I'm pretty sure white people have created a lot of good things. But just to state, because of this, it's not even connected, right? That, oh, black people did not invent braids. Oh, okay. But for you to go into inventions or things that you believe that your people created, that's that underlying racist bullcrap I just don't get down with. That's how people spout their racism. Let me show you. Let me see. I think I know his name is Frederick, but he created the first mobile refrigeration truck. I forgot his full name. That's his name, Frederick McKinley Jones. He's down here. And he, see the modern air conditioning unit, and you guys can verify this for yourself again. But there's a lot of information I put in here. So again, any intelligent person who just may not know, who may be ignorant to the fact, they will go, I'm going to go and verify this. And then when they start to look up the information, shouldn't they change their stance based off verifiable information. I'm not stating this is verifiable, but I'm saying once they go research it. Good evening, Jermaine Anderson. Hopefully you got both of your 2 shipments. Please let me know. Good evening, Volvo. He said, are you Michael Jackson? What? I think Walsh just meant that claiming anything just because is absurd, as we are all capable. Great minds and IQ transcend color. By all metric measures, agents are on average higher intelligence now. Why? I want to know why. Why did you make that comment, COD veteran? Why did you make that comment that Asians, that Asians are on average higher intelligence now? Why would you make that comment, number one? And two, why is that if this is truth? I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just asking you why are Asians on average have higher IQs than everyone else? You're welcome. You're welcome, brother. Why? Because here's the thing. I've lived in Japan. I lived in Korea. The reason why Asians, whether they be Indian, doesn't matter what country they're from, part of it, I will say, is because of their culture. Because their culture is going to school literally all day. Their kids go to school in the morning. And this is some parts of the places I've been. I'm pretty sure it's different. But I would like to say a lot of the Asian schools in Asia, these children are in school like 12 hours a day. They're learning like 12 hours a day or more. So they go to school for like 6 to 8 hours. They come home, take a break for an hour. Then a lot of them go to night school, or they have private tutors in their buildings. They go to school all day, and that's part of their culture. They have made that part of their culture. So is it that they're smarter or that they study longer, which make them more informative? The only thing I'm stating is this: no matter your race, if you put people in a learning environment for that long, the majority of that demographic will be intelligent. And I'm talking about from birth. You put them in an environment, low violence, like a Korea or Japan. They have their death rates are like 0.2% per 100,000 people. They rarely have murders. So again, we're looking at violent crimes and things of that nature. If you decrease violent crimes, like almost to zero, and you put your youth in 12 to 14-hour schools and education and after-hour tutoring, majority of that demographic will be smart. They will be intelligent, more so than people who do not do that. That's not American culture. American culture is going to school, learning a couple of things that you don't understand. You get a tutor just for that subject, not for each and every subject for you to be advanced. Very few Americans do that. So we started to come up with all these like charter school, private schools to compete against the world, and it really hasn't panned out because of what? Violence. Violence is a distraction. Why violence? High rates of poverty. Why high rates of poverty? Well, it depends on the demographic, people will argue. Black Americans will say that there is a racial barrier that prevent us. Oh, that's why you guys had civil rights and affirmative action and DEI. None of those things benefited Black Americans. Maybe the civil rights initially. The Civil Rights Bill 63, 1964, benefit Black Americans for a very short time, but affirmative action, no. That made equality for white women to compete with white men in the corporate arena. DEI, that was for, again, white women and illegal immigrants to a certain degree. Am I stating that it has not helped a couple Black people? Of course, helped a couple. We got to have symbolism. We got to have representation so we don't picture America as a racist country. Hey, listen, my family from the inception of time has been in America. This is all I know. I understand that the race component of America regardless if you talk about it or not, Morgan Freeman, regardless if you talk about it or not, it's going to exist because people have their biases. Now, I do agree with Morgan Freeman to a certain degree about it. We just stop talking about it. My only question is, if we just stop talking about it, is it going to change people's views? Is it going to become absent from the tongue first and the mind second? Meaning, if people from all these demographics don't ever say anything racist or discriminatory or biased to their children, then that generation will look at people from other demographics just the same. If we just never speak about it again. But my only question is, will that happen? Or will there always be a racial component, not just in America, but in the world? That's the question I have. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. This is Blacklogic.